Hello sports fan, this is Steven here for JustMyPicks.com, and I'm bringing you a special NFL 2014 prediction video. I'm going to be going down the top 5 players not named Tom Brady or Peyton Manning for the MVP award. It may be a couple of surprises on this list. You're going to have some of the best young stars on this list in the NFL, and it may be one or two people that you didn't expect was ever going to be on this list. Now, I'm going to start with number 5, which is the least likely to win MVP, but still has a strong chance and go all the way to the top. I'm going to start at number 5. You're looking at the Houston Texans J.J. Watt. With Jadeveon Clowney, whichever one wants to go by, comes to Houston, he's going to have a big responsibility on his shoulders. He's going to have to beat double teams just like Clowney will. He'll have to do a lot of the gap stunning. He'll have a lot of the passes he has to bat down. But looking at the Houston Texans, they're going to have a healthy defense going into next year. They're going to have Romeo Crennel as their defensive coordinator. That's going to allow them to blitz more. Remember, Romeo Crennel was the coach in Kansas City. He also was the coach in New England for a long period of time, where he helped them win a few Super Bowls. Now, when you look at some of the athletes he had in both those stops, he was successful at making pressure. He didn't have the best defensive tackles. He didn't have the best cornerbacks all the time. He didn't have all the best linebacker safeties and things like that, but what he does have is the best pass rushing defensive end in the NFL. You look at J.J. Watt and what he has, the measurables, the intangibles, and all the things that he has. He's an athletic beast. His massive girth. What he can do to create penetration to those offensive lines, he keeps offensive coordinators up at night because he has to get double team, a chip for the triple team. He has to do a lot of things, and he throws monkey wrenches in offensive plans. Now that you add Jadeveon Clowney on the other side, if Clowney pans out to anything that we expect him to be, you're going to be looking at, they're going to have to choose and pick who they're going to double team. They may double team Watt more or less, but if Clowney gets out to a good start, you're going to see a lot more of those mix match pressures. You're going to see the 3-4 looks. You're going to see the 4-3 looks. You're going to see Watt move back and forth from the potential rushing linebacker spot also to the defensive end to the defensive tackle. So he's going to have gap responsibility of just shooting certain gaps and just going straight for the running back or the quarterback. Whichever one has the ball, he's just going to try to destroy. Now, the only thing is, he's the main focus of this defense, and that's the only thing that scares me. A lot of times, defensive players do not get the love that they have earned as far as the MVP race goes. So he's number 5. Coming in number 4, Adrian Peterson. Teddy Bridgewater coming to the Minnesota Vikings helped this out a little bit because I believe in Teddy Bridgewater. When you look at the system that they play in, they won't be in the dome this year, but this will be an advantage to Adrian Peterson. He likes to run. He likes to punish people. He has Norv Turner as his new offensive coordinator. We look at Norv Turner and what he's done at different stops with different players. Remember LaDainian Tomlinson, the San Diego Supercharger, who put up historic numbers, who broke the rushing record as far as touchdowns goes? Yes, that same LaDainian Tomlinson also had a little something to say about this. And as far as Adrian Peterson goes, he runs and is a fast physical runner. He did come back from that that gruesome injury to have an awesome season, and we saw him have an MVP type season. And now you look at it, the defense is getting a little bit better. Now the offense is getting a little bit better. You look at Bridgewater, he potentially could push this offense over the top. We know that they've struggled passing the ball with Christian Ponder in the past. We know that they have some solid wideouts that they can get the job done, in the offensive line, as always, still does an amazing job. Now, with them being outdoors, it's going to challenge a lot of these teams. Now, you don't have that indoor game during the regular season. It's going to be cold throughout the latter part of the year, and Adrian Peterson will be able to punish whoever he wants running that football. This is going to be a new improved offense, and trust me, the defense for this defense is going to be a lot better than it was last year. You're going to see a lot more preparation. You're going to see a lot more defensive assignments being kept, and you're going to see the discipline of this team go up. Now, when I'm going to number 3, number 3 is not a surefire pick, but I'm serious. If this Atlanta Falcons offense gets off the ground, Matt Ryan will be the key reason. Having Julio Jones, Roddy White, Steven Jackson all healthy, even though he did lose Tony Gonzalez, which is a big loss, he still has those 3 monsters that can get going at any point in time. Roddy White can get going at any time. Julio Jones is a physical beast. Steven Jackson is a monster, a mammoth runner. So you look at some of the little receivers that they have also, like a Harry Douglas. You look at that Falcons defense that did not really improve over the offseason, but the offensive line will be popping. You see that they got a better quickly on the offensive line. Arthur Blank put out there for a challenge for his team to be more fast, be more physical, be more tough. What did they do? They went out and got a better offensive line. They got some road raiders who are going to punch somebody in the mouth and keep it moving. They got toughness. They got bigger girth. They got more physical. And that's what I wanted to see from the Atlanta Falcons in this offseason. They did a lot of good things. Now, I feel like Matt Ryan will take that jump and he'll go from an average quarterback to above average and possibly reach that top 10 tier quarterbacks where the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL reign supreme. Now, when you're coming to number 2, this was very tricky for me because looking at what they did last year, LaShawn McCoy led the league in rushing. I know that he's excited about this year, but when them getting so many weapons like Darren Sproles, them drafting 2 wide receivers, getting Trey Burton as an unsigned free agent, Chip Kelly is going to use all these weapons. So that means that he's going to get less and less and less touches throughout. LaShawn McCoy is one of those rare running backs that gets stronger as the game goes on. So in the first quarter, he may not have his best. The second and third, he may not have his best. For the fourth quarter, best believe he's turning it up on all cylinders and he's firing on all cylinders. You look at LaShawn McCoy, a lot of people say that, oh, he just keeps bouncing out. You're going to keep doing what you're doing if it's successful, duh. But when you look at LaShawn McCoy in the full package of plethora of things that he does, he's a great runner. He holds onto the football. He's great in space. You get LaShawn McCoy the ball in space, Shady's going to be doing the shady bounce in the end zone. You know it's coming because he's going to juke you, he's going to run past you, he's going to spin move past you and go straight to the end zone. Now, when you're looking at Chip Kelly has this 10-second offense. It seems like every time you say something, the ball's being snapped. Every time you blink, the ball's being snapped. So they're used to it a little bit. A lot of the guys that played on this team last year are used to it. You look at Nick Foles being a good young quarterback who can use all these weapons to his disposal. You have the Shetland pony Darren Sproles, who will be a big factor in the 2 running back sets because they both can catch the ball. Darren Sproles and LaShawn McCoy can catch the ball, and they also can get out there and run the football when they're given the draws, the screens, things like that. So this is why he'll be number 2 and not number 1. And coming in at number 1, Mr. Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck is a phenomenal talent. You look at him coming out of Stanford, one of the best prospect quarterback since a Peyton Manning, since a John Elway, and you look at all the things that he does well, and you just look at the grand scheme of things, he got better as the year goes on. This is year 3. This is the year that the quarterback potentially could take off into stardom, or he could stay stagnant and not really improve. I believe in Andrew Luck. The Indianapolis Colts, even though they're having problems with Robert Mathis being suspended, Jim Irsay with drugs and all that alcohol and DUI, Andrew Luck is going to be the center folding piece of this organization. He's going to keep them stable. He's not going to let them stagger. And you have to look at this. He has a healthy Reggie Wayne coming back. Trent Richardson, if he has common sense, he will get it together and run the football. You look at Amari Bradshaw possibly coming back and giving his team something to offer. But then you have to look at the other side of the field. You have to look at the defense. The defense got a little bit tougher. And you have to look at just what they can do in general. Also, this offense added Hakeem Nicks, who is a big play wide receiver when he is healthy. Even though he gets injured sometimes, he still steps up to the plate, does what he has to do, shows up on time, does things like that. So Andrew Luck is going to be possibly the MVP. You're not looking at Tom Brady or Peyton Manning in this decision, but when you look at Andrew Luck being one of the quickest rising stars in the NFL, you look at that amazing game he had last year in the playoffs against the Kansas City Chiefs, where everybody, including myself, turned off the TV, went and played in a park, wherever, and you look at him just coming back, his resurgence, him coming back and really saying, you know what, this game's not over till the fat lady sings. So these are my list of the 5. I'm going to do a special mention because I think that it's warranted. Jamal Charles. Jamal Charles of the Chiefs is really a good talent. The only thing that scares me, he lost 3 offensive linemen, and those 3 offensive linemen were no joke. They were no just pushover, so that helped him increase a lot. You also have to look at what he's done throughout the season. Just really, for the most part, Andy Reid's offense is going to give him a lot of time to touch the ball and really go deep down the field each and every play. But when it comes down to a Jamal Charles, as far as his health being a concern for me, I think that that'll be a little bit scary for me to even try to think about that. Also, Megatron. Megatron, he plays so well, you know, but you can't. The inconsistency with the Detroit offensive line and Matthew Stafford is what holds him back. Top 5 receiver. Guy's a beast. He's a monster. So he really should have been on this list, but the shaky offensive line and the shaky offensive quarterback with Matthew Stafford is really what scares me, because Matthew Stafford one game could throw for 6 or 7 touchdowns, 500 yards. The next game, throw for 4 or 5 interceptions, 1 touchdown, and 500 yards. So it's kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde at this point. But let me know what you guys feel. Leave your list if you disagree with my list under in the comment section below. Also, leave me 1 or 2 honorable mentions that I left out or you feel like should have been on this list that were not named Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Check us out at justmypicks.com each and every week for all the breaking news, for all the updates. Also, check me out on YouTube, YouTube.com/JustMyPicksTV for all the breaking videos, all the news updates, and all the sports. And don't forget to share my videos in your sports group on Facebook so we can debate with you each and every week for all the sports fans. Thank you very much, and check us out next week.